2 weeks ago today, we ended up getting a massive Black Ops 4 update that gave us a whole ton of different things, both weapon balancing and also new features as well. But today we got another update, update 1.05 for Black Ops 4, and it takes that to another level. This now seemingly is the biggest update that we've had yet within Black Ops 4. Across all modes, there's a bunch of different changes that we'll talk about here in this one. I'll let you guys know exactly what's up and everything that did change here as when you jump on and see that you'll have a 9 or 11 gig update depending on the platform you're on, and there is so much stuff to talk about, so let's just jump into it. The first thing you'll hear if you're on PlayStation 4, you'll probably notice it immediately, but what was the catalyst for this entire update is that Nuketown has arrived on PlayStation 4. Xbox One and PC users will have access to this starting next week, so next Tuesday it'll be available for everybody, but as it stands right now, we end up having Nuketown only on PlayStation 4. Again, if you saw the trailers or any of the gameplay so far, it's Cold War themed, so in Soviet Russia, the buildings are completely different. Perhaps it's just me, but I feel like it plays a little bit differently. Spawns seem a little worse off currently compared to other versions of Nuketown. Some of the lines of sight don't necessarily seem to add up to me. I know that you can look down and watch people spawn in some instances, and things like the spawn beacon and other specialists definitely can make this a rage fest depending on who you're playing with, if it's solo or with a party. I definitely would recommend with a party at least going in initially, because there are so many stacks within Nuketown so far that I've come across today. But that said, it's up to you guys. It is something that is still a lot of fun to play around with, and I'm expecting there to be some really cool Easter eggs coming out here in the next 24, 36, 48 hours perhaps, in which we see some stuff either that are callbacks to other Nuketown maps or maybe just an overall Easter egg in general. But the thing that a lot of people were curious on, that I at least saw, was the nuke that was showcased in the trailer. That's just the end game cinematic. It's not anything that if you get a 30 kill streak or anything you get to call it in. That's just the end game cinematic. So your map will finish up, then you'll see that go in, like you saw how there was the nuke in previous ones, but a little different this time around. Also specific for PS4 at the moment is some changes to Blackout. This will come again in a week's time to Xbox One and PC users, but you end up having the Bowie Knife now added in to Blackout. Haven't got my hands on it just yet to test out how effective it will be. Personally, I'm not expecting it to be super effective simply because in Blackout, a lot of times I'm not close quarters with anybody. To me, I think it would be something that would be easy to farm some zombies or anything like that. So if you want some quest lines that'll drop from zombies, some trauma kits, a ray gun perhaps, a weapon, that's something that if you're at Asylum or another zombies location, that's a way to do it without alerting players that you're there. Now, another thing that was also added in was Nuketown Zombies. Now, not Nuketown Zombies as a playable overall map, but in Blackout on Nuketown Island, it is going to be a new POI for zombies. So just like Diner, just like Asylum, just like Graveyard, just like Lighthouse, you'll have zombies spawn that will have a mystery box. You can get probably like a level 3 armor or something of increased rarity out of that if you end up completing that wave. We don't have anything like the Blightfather again at the moment, so that's probably the most rare items you'll get here out of this. So kind of rivaling and matching that of an airdrop or a supply stash. Additionally, only on PlayStation 4 right now, again, this will come next week for Xbox One and PC users, we actually end up having brand new character missions unlocked. As of recently with the Blightfather event, we ended up seeing we had Diego, Scarlet, Shaw, and Bruno unlocked, and now we ended up getting, as of this update, 4 more added in, and these are your legacy character missions, those being for Mason, Woods, Menendez, and Reznov. Now, this is super exciting. I absolutely love all these character missions. So far, the only ones we're missing are the original Zombies crew of Nikolai, Richtoff, and Takiao and Dempsey, so we have all of these now unlocked except for those 4. As for the character missions, again, I'm not entirely up to speed on those just yet. I know they're out there. They were data mined as of the game's release, so you can definitely find those out there. I just at the top of my head don't have those available on hand here to give you guys, but you can jump into some Blackout and try and get those done and out of the way as well right now. Additionally, we ended up getting an update to the black market. 2 things were added in here, one bigger than others maybe perhaps. When you log in on PlayStation 4, the first thing you'll be met with obviously is the brand new playlist updates, but underneath that you end up seeing you have the daily tier skip option. And this is something that will task you with winning 1 game within Blackout or multiplayer. It does not matter which, and it doesn't matter what length the game ends up playing at, but it is something that all you have to do is win 1 game and it will skip you ahead 1 tier progression in full, plus whatever you end up getting for that time you put in with that game you won. So it's a nice little way to boost things up. I'm still very anxiously awaiting challenges within the black market and to be able to do that for tier progression as well, because this is a great start, no doubt. You of course have 27 days left on the event for PlayStation 4, so 27 tiers if you just simply play 1 game and win it every single day, but challenges will definitely help you and help to hopefully mitigate mitigate the necessity, if you don't play a lot, to buy all those tiers if you want to get to tier 200 and above. But additionally, within the black market, we have the final introduction of the third and final piece to this entire system, that being Blackjack Shop. I'm kind of surprised they actually added this all in right now, but again, with a title update, it does make sense for this, but we now see it almost mirroring identically to that of the Fortnite system for cosmetics. You end up having daily items as well as featured items. The featured items last for 4 days total, and the daily items last for 1 day naturally. Right now, we currently have 2 bundles as the featured items, one for Ruin and one for Seraph. The Seraph one actually is one of the Muertos themed skins that you got for pre-ordering at certain locations. So kind of seems like that rarity has completely gone by the wayside, but we end up having a gesture, an outfit, another outfit, and a tag in the daily items. The bundles here for this, for the featured, end up giving you the entire set. It gives you the character uniform, the face paint, as well as the sticker and decal with that. So those, of course, varying in COD point total depending on their rarity, and you can take advantage of those if you guys want. But right now, unless one really stands out to me, I might be saving my COD points for when they inevitably add camos, as well as probably weapon progression into tiers with the special orders or contraband, and also with the daily shop perhaps as well. But those were added in, and we end up getting one more thing changing for PlayStation 4, that being some brand new playlists. We end up having the featured playlist, of course, being Nuketown, naturally since Nuketown just was introduced, but we also have a few new things, including the Endurance Chaos Mosh Pit, as well as the Mercenary Capture Mosh Pit, and Gun Game are gonna be in the rotation one more week only on that one, it seems like. So the Endurance Mosh Pit, though, for those of you guys wondering what this is, it's actually your standard game modes, but with double the score limit. So for example, the game of domination that I jumped into immediately was a domination match with a score limit of 400 points rather than 200. So each round would be 200, and this of course became incredibly long to play, about 20 minutes for a domination match, and we held every single flag almost the entire time of that 2/3 control. So it definitely is something that takes quite a bit of time, and if you're somebody that actually is just wanting to go in and play a bunch for that tier progression, this actually rivals that of Blackout right now in my mind, because you're guaranteed to play around 15 to 20 minutes per match, unlike with Blackout where you have to pretty much survive the entire match to end up doing that. This is a great way, of course, to end up ranking up throughout that tier progression. So Endurance Mosh Pit is going to be something around for about a week's time. Mercenary, again, for those players that like to play the objective, that's going to be something if you're a lone wolf you can take advantage of, and Gun Game naturally is something we've already seen. But as for the actual changes, we start to get into a lot here at this, and we'll try to breeze through as much of this as possible. But let's start out with the weapon balancing. We saw a bunch of things change here with this one, starting out with the SMGs. The MX9 was the first one up on the list here. That adjusted the 5-hit kill range and moved it up to 6 meters in multiplayer only, and slightly increased the ADS move speed. The GKS had its 5-hit kill range moved up to 3 meters in multiplayer only as well, and also had a slight increase to its ADS move speed as like the MX9. The Cordite additionally had its 5-hit kill range moved up to 3 meters in multiplayer only, and you guessed it, a slight increase to the ADS move speed. The Spitfire also had the same adjustments, but with that minimal 6-hit kill range that was moved to 3 meters in multiplayer only. The assault rifles, the Maddox, had a slight recoil increase on the first and second shots to make it not necessarily as viable, but to give it a little more resistance, to make it maybe not as OP as people will claim it to be. The Echo Fire Operator mod removed the recoil penalty when equipped. The KN-57 had a reduce in its idle sway and a slight increase to the 4-hit kill range by 1.5 meters in multiplayer only. The Rampart 17 had a reduction in its idle sway as well, slightly reducing also the recoil on the first and third shots, making that a little bit steadier of a shot whenever you use the Rampart, and also increased the 4-hit kill range by 3 meters in multiplayer only as well. As for the tactical rifles, the Swordfish was the only one up here on the chopping block. This actually slightly reduced the delay between bursts, making a little bit faster firing, also reduced the idle sway, and as for the Pensa Burst Operator mod, it now implements standard burst delay on that as well. The LMGs, the Titan was the only one up on the chopping block here at this one, slightly making it a little less worse than it was previously, but still it's a beast of a weapon. It reduces the ADS speed, it increased the sprint out time, and also slightly increased the hip fire spread in multiplayer only. And as for the stock attachment, that got a little bit of an adjustment as well. It slightly reduced the movement benefits when equipped in multiplayer only. As for Blackout, it still will be the same. Sniper rifles had a few up on deck, the Paladin only being the one not adjusted. The Outlaw, though, had the biggest adjustments here out of this, as it had a slight increase to the fire rate, a greatly reduced idle sway, which is honestly huge for that weapon, slightly increased ADS speed, an updated ADS rechamber animation to make it easier to stay on target, and also the recoil now centers more reliably. Plus, there's an increase to the base damage by 10, only affecting the shots to kill an already damaged enemy target and multiplayer only. The SDM added aim assist when hip firing, something that for a sniper rifle might not be the most beneficial thing, but will help you be able to track enemies a little bit further. The Koshka ended up having an adjustment where the recoil now centers more reliably on the first shot, and then we move over into the shotgun. The final weapon that was changed here was the SG-12. That gave a reduced visual effect of the strobe light operator mod and reduced the range at which the strobe light affects aim assist by 50%. So nerfing that overall quite a bit. The attachment of Grip 2 was adjusted only slightly, in which it reduced flinch mitigation. That only adjusts, again, a handful of weapons, but something that is definitely a nerf here to that and the players that use that. Specialists ended up getting an adjustment, and this is one I'm sure a lot of people are very happy about. Ajax had a reduction to the 9-bang's flash effect duration by 25%. 9-bang is now countered more efficiently by tac mask. You also have an increased bullet spread by 25% in the fortify stance using the ballistic shield. Ajax now has an adjustment to the turn speed. It's now properly slowed when he's hit by a concussion grenade or when the ballistic shield is equipped, and it also resolved an issue that could prevent Ajax from being hit from certain angles from behind with the ballistic shield equipped. It also added a third-person sound effect for the charges of 2 and 3 9-bang. Prophet had an increase to the Tempest accuracy, and I saw somebody shredding a lobby that I was in with that earlier, so it might be something worth checking out. Also, the Tempest charges attached to players will no longer be destroyed by explosives, as well as it resolved an issue with a Seeker Shock Mine getting stuck in a loop on Morocco in particular. Firebreak had an adjustment where it now does damage properly to the strike team, and Ruin had an issue resolved that would lead to the grapple gun failing to connect to surfaces when the player was already moving. Perks had a few adjusted. The tac mask was adjusted so it increases resistance to the 9-bang, concussion grenade, and razor wire. Flak jacket was something that was adjusted that increased resistance to the explosive damage. Cold-blooded had an increase to the delay period before enemy AI will target players during a period of maintained line of sight, and this will give players more time to get cover or fight back against that AI as a result. Dead silence was adjusted to suppress the sound of players relating to healing, taking fall damage, or resurfacing while swimming. That affects both multiplayer and blackout. That's a big one because I know that I've heard people with dead silence simply because they got out of the water. Additionally, score streaks had an adjustment for one in particular, that being the strike team. There can only now be one strike team per match. Outside of that, we ended up seeing some spawn adjustments, but still maybe not my favorite spawn adjustments thus far. We saw them adjusted on the modes of TDM, Domination, Free-for-all, and Hardpoint, as well as Control, and also the maps of Seaside and Gridlock in particular. For TDM, Domination, Free-for-all, Hardpoint, and Control, we ended up seeing those across Arsenal, Summit, and Payload, with Hardpoint adding in an extra little note that there's a weight reduction to the spawns near the Hardpoint itself. As for some quick brief game mode discussion, we ended up seeing that Hardcore had an adjustment to the care package in general, where players that would team kill their team to steal their care package, that damage for that specific instance now is reflected back on the player that shoots them. So if you're one of those people that tries to jack a teammate's care package, it's not gonna work out too well for you this time around. Armor had a slight adjustment in that rebalancing here for Hardcore in particular. Heist we ended up seeing had some different changes with the Seeker Shock Mine increase, the Hellstorm increased cost, Lightning Strike increased cost, and other things considered. There were a ton of adjustments to the CWL custom match rule sets. And the final thing that I will mention here in terms of multiplayer and blackout stuff before we jump into a brief mention of zombies is that Nomad's character mission requirement for blackout has actually been changed. Previously it was something that was to kill 3 specialists within blackout, and that was something that seemingly was going to be a lot easier to do once players unlocked more characters and started equipping their specialists. But that's actually been changed to now where you no longer need to, and it doesn't depend on other players' character choices. From what I saw over on Twitter, you guys telling me about it, it's now actually to kill 2 players with no damage taken in those gunfights, and then also finish with the Juno tags in your inventory. So that's something that was adjusted as well. And the final thing we'll talk about here before we wrap up this massive update video is zombies. Now, I'm not gonna go into a ton of detail here on all this kind of stuff other than to say simply there's a ton of adjustments made to zombies for those guys that are interested in doing this, that are interested in playing the game mode. there's been a lot of things that have really been plaguing the zombies community with crashes, with different issues that weren't completing quests. All that kind of stuff was out there, and so far Treyarch has detailed over 60 adjustments to the various maps within Zombies. So that should hopefully help make things a lot easier for you guys that live on Zombies, and I'm really hoping that this fixes a lot of things here, because I hate seeing that community in disarray just because of the bugs that end up plaguing the game mode itself. So hopefully this fixes a lot of the issues, and I'll leave the links down there in the description below if you guys want to check out every single one for yourself. But again, over 60 adjustments to stability fixes within Zombies. But that said, that is where we're gonna wrap it up. A huge update here at this. And again, those guys on Xbox One and PC, you'll have a lot of these things coming if they're not already there as of next week. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular that you're really looking forward to jumping on and taking advantage here of this? Are you looking forward to Nuketown? You're looking forward to Blackjack Shop? What may be coming in the future with that? The character missions in Blackout? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. If you are also new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout, and Zombies. We got you covered with the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, best class setups, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it is, links in the description below. But all that said, out of the way, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you all so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.